Ethereum is ready for $4,000. Ethereum against Bitcoin is giving us the clues why Ethereum is ready for $4,000. And Sui is currently one of my favorite altcoin chart and is shaping up very clean for a brand new all-time high. And in today's video we are going to discuss a beautiful trade idea that I have in mind for Sui. Guys, as discussed over here, Ethereum is trading in a potential reaccumulation range. We have three pivots. Pivot number 1, pivot number 2, and then over here we have pivot number 3 and even pivot number 4. So a high probability range. Why is this a high probability range? Although we have to look for to give us the confirmation that this over here is a high probability range, just simply look at the respect of the mid-range. Key support, key resistance, then we drop off. Resistance once, twice, 3 times, and now 4 times it has been high time frame resistance for Ethereum. What we see at this range over here is that we have seen a deviation of the range low, right? We know that after a deviation of the range low, as long as we have an untapped liquidity pool above the range high, technically speaking, from a range perspective, we should see a push towards that range high liquidity pool. Now that is already aligning above $4,000. But we know in order to get to that range high level over here, we always have to flip that mid-range, and currently it has been very tough for Ethereum to flip the mid-range. We have tested it numerous amounts of times over here. So it might be the case that if we go to the lower time frames, that we have some sell-side liquidity beneath these local lows over here that we need to sweep first, right? There's definitely some liquidity resting there because we are seeing fake break of structures to the upside over here, for example. Fake break of structure to the upside over here, and we know that because of these fake break of structure towards the upside, there's a valid sell-side liquidity being engineered beneath these lows over here. So you know that I'm already holding 2 swing long positions from Ethereum. Right over here we have added the second swing long position after we took profits at the Pico top over here of the original swing long position that we accumulated during this week to the downside over here. Now, in order for this swing long to play out, Ethereum needs to flip the mid-range. If it flips the mid-range, it can offer another beautiful trading opportunity. If it flips the mid-range, the retest can be played all the way towards the range high liquidity pool with your invalidation beneath these local lows over here. Because in that case, if price is truly bullish, then it should continue higher towards the upside and it shouldn't go too deep beneath the mid-range anymore. If it does that, then it will definitely go for the sell-side liquidity and maybe even for the liquidity that is resting beneath these lows over here. So currently I'm already holding 2 swing long positions, but if Ethereum is going to give us a clean and aggressive reclaim of the mid-range, I might be looking to play the higher low to target the range high for another swing long position. And then you can play the higher low starting at this previous resistance area over here, right? This is an aggressive long position with a pretty tight invalidation and a pretty aggressive take profit target around the range high. This is not a high probability setup, not an A+ setup, but technically speaking, because the mid-range has been tested so many times, if we open and close multiple candles above the mid-range on the 4-hourly time frame and on the daily time frame, then I personally believe that an expansional move towards the range high liquidity pool is inevitable. If the range high then breaks out, an expansion towards a new all-time high on Ethereum is inevitable as well, and the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart is showing to us why. So before we continue with my trading idea on Sui, I want to show you guys the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart. Guys, we have this high time frame range, a very high time frame range. And what we can see is deviation number 1, right? Followed by a second deviation. That second deviation swept the low of the first deviation. And then we get a very aggressive expansion towards the upside that eventually tapped and formed the range high over here. Then we test the range low, we slightly front run it over here, right? That front run of the range low leads to this break of structure, but eventually it turned out to be a trap and to be an inducement of this range low area. So what does price do? It goes for those stops that were still resting over here. It mitigates the liquidity with another tap of the range low and a small deviation of the range low over here. Push to the upside. That push to the upside, that bounce, induces people into opening up longs over here or on the pullback. But they are opening up longs without confirmation because the hour 12 trend is still trending to the downside. So what we see right now is that once again, we go and sweep the low of the first deviation, just like we have been seeing over here. What are we potentially doing as we speak? We are potentially trying to reclaim the range low. We are not only trying to reclaim the range low, if we just check the 4-hourly time frame, guys, we can see that the local trend on the lower time frames has been shifting to the upside as well. So now this might be a place where Ethereum against Bitcoin might give us a high time frame reversal. And I've been looking at a potential high time frame reversal several times already. But at some point it is going to reverse because this range over here is very, very strong. And technically, as long as the range low area holds, at some point we should go for the range high liquidity pool. Now this might be a case where that reversal might actually be taking place. So over the upcoming week, the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart is definitely a chart to be looking at. Also, if we look at the weekly candlesticks, what we can see is, in my opinion, extremely interesting. We have seen a sweep of this week over here. Then we closed this weekly candle as a swing failure. The last time that we closed the weekly candle as a swing failure was with this week over here. Swept the week, closed above, swing failure. Swept the week, closed above, swing failure. We also managed to close the weekly candle above the range low. Currently, we are wicking beneath the range low again. But this might potentially be a wick to the downside before a green candle and an expansional candle towards the upside. We know that these green candles, they always create wicks to the downside first. We know that the red candles always create wicks to the upside first and then expand to the downside. This is the way that candles are being created, especially on the higher time frame. So personally, I think Ethereum against Bitcoin is near high time frame support. It is potentially shifting market structure on a lower time frame, slowly starting to give us some signs of strength. And we know that we never ever want to be bearish near support. And we have that untapped liquidity pool at the range high. At some point, I think that Ethereum against Bitcoin is going to give us a reversal, and potentially right now it might be at that exact spot. And if it's going to give us a reversal, then Ethereum and also altcoins are ready to outperform Bitcoin. And that altcoin might be Sui. And what we see over here on Sui, guys, is a lovely, lovely chart. Once again, expansion towards the upside results in a potential reaccumulation range. Pivot number 1, this small wick, this second to highest high. Pivot number 2, this bottom wick over here. Pivot number 3, beautiful tap of the first pivot, so giving us the second pivot for the range high and the third pivot in total. What we can see, beautifully respected mid-range over here. Respected mid-range, right? We can see quarterly level getting respected, getting respected, getting respected. Top quarterly level getting respected, getting respected. The range levels are getting respected extremely clean. And if you have 3 high time frame pivots touching the exact same price, 2 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and the range levels are getting respected very, very well, then we know that we have a high probability range to give us potential trading triggers. Now we want to trade a potential breakout of an accumulation range. You never want to blindly long the first breakout, because quite often that first breakout isn't a real breakout. It is often used to engineer liquidity to the downside. If we zoom into this local price action, we can exactly see the way that they did this. How do they do this? We see this perfect retest of that range high level, of this very obvious range high level that acted as resistance in the past. I've taught you guys, if price is truly bullish when it breaks out or truly bearish when it breaks down, it doesn't offer these fucking perfect retests. Print it into your mind. Now after this perfect retest, we also see a fake break of structure. So we have the perfect retest where people open up longs, right? We have this fake break of structure that induces people into opening up longs with a stop beneath this low of the perfect retest. And then we see another bounce to the upside. Once again, people expect a breakout higher because Sui was in an all-time high price discovery mode. Once again, people open up longs, put their stop over here and put their stop over here. So eventually price goes and mitigates that liquidity pool. I knew that this was going to happen. If you don't believe me, check out the recording of the Twitch livestream last Thursday. Price at the time was trading over here or over here, I believe, or maybe over here. I told you guys it was gonna go for that sell-side liquidity pool, which is exactly what it did. And I also told you guys, if it was gonna go for that sell-side liquidity pool, then provide a bearish retest of that range high and form a lower low and then reclaim the range high afterwards, I was going to be interested into opening up valid breakout longs. So what have we done? Bearish retest of the range high, form a lower low, mitigate some more sales liquidity, and currently the price is retesting the range high. So this looks very, very bullish to me, and I think that a new all-time high on SUI is almost inevitable. Now you might be wondering, but Guru, why aren't you long yet? It's Monday, we have the weekly transition period that is going on and the monthly transition period that is going on. And besides that, it is Easter, so it's a bank holiday everywhere. So I'm personally waiting with executing brand new trades until tomorrow. Why? Because I'm an extremely patient trader. I made huge profits over the last few weeks, and my trading system doesn't allow me to open up trades if we have a weekly transition, monthly transition, and bank holiday going on, and the fact that it's Monday. I don't really mind too much taking trades on a Monday, but if at the same time we have a bank holiday, weekly and monthly transition period, then my system simply doesn't allow me to take extra risk on a Monday. So what I'm doing right now is that I'm monitoring the price of SUI, and if the price still looks like this tomorrow, if we manage to close this daily candle above that range high level, then I'm going to identify a higher low tomorrow with a very clean invalidation beneath this local low, and then I'm going to target a new all-time high for SUI. I'm going to target a price discovery range. Now, how am I going to target a price discovery range? I simply clone this range over here, and I put it exactly on top of the current range. Now, then I'm going to use the mid-range and the range high, and these are my two targets in case SUI makes a new all-time high. First take profit target will be this mid-range level. Second take profit target will be the range high level. Second way that you can do this is by using the trend-based FIB extension. Start at this low, drag it to the high, drag it to this higher low, and what we can see is that we want to use the 1-to-1 and the 1.618. The 1.1 exactly aligns with the mid-range area. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. The 1.618 exactly aligns with the range high level. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. Beautiful targets that you can target once you go long on SUI. I tell you guys to wait until tomorrow to get an A+ setup. If you want to decide to take a long already today, in my opinion, it's very, very risky. Yes, you can take some kind of a breakout long position over here, stop loss beneath the local low, and the first target being the mid-range, offers a decent RR of 1.6, and the second target offers a nice RR of 3.2. But the best way is to wait for the daily candle close to be as strong as I've taught you guys, right? If it is strong, then tomorrow you're going to long the retest of the range high, stop loss beneath the local low, and then give us decent RR targets, 2.5, and the second take profit target offers an RR 4.77. Then you can also use a second entry in case we deviate a little bit beneath the range high, and that should offer an even better RR. Obviously, when I'm going to execute this trade, I will refine the entry points on the lower time frame. These are just basic examples, just quick examples. On a lower time frame, I will really refine my entry points, refine my targets, and refine my stop loss. If you want to get the exact trading signal for this trade idea, obviously guys, you guys have to join our VIP channel on Discord. It only costs 60 euros a month. You can join the free Discord server and then read the reviews about the VIP channel in the free Discord server. And I think those reviews, guys, they speak for themselves. I will also upload my results of the month of March on Twitter and on Discord today or tomorrow as well. And I think that also those results, they speak for themselves as well. We have had a few insane months. We have made a lot of money. I've been teaching day in, day out. I've been providing content on YouTube. And if you do like this content, please guys, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And guys, on Wednesday, we will release the newest podcast episode, which is going to be a banger as well. I'll catch you guys there. Ciao, ciao.